Alien Romulus. I had some technical difficulties. I was talking about how Alien Prometheus from 2012 by Ridley Scott was very tedious, and it was very philosophical, and it was kind of felt like something your grandpa would make or your dad would make on his deathbed, like in his final 10 years of his life or something. So it's kind of seems a bit cumbersome. Um, Naomi Rapace, uh, she was okay. I guess they put Charlize Theron in there for the sex factor to spice it up. What otherwise would have been without her hot South African booty, her Dutch booty dancing around. I mean, it would have been, uh, probably a lot more tedious. Of course, you have father and daughter. There's themes of immortality, themes of mortality. But all in all, Alien Prometheus is a tedious, or Prometheus is a tedious affair. The musings of an old man who's concerned about the end of his life, concerned about death. And you could tell that that really worries Ridley Scott, or it worries many a man that our lives will end one day. And then they came out with 2017's, what was it, 2017? Alien Covenant. And being an Alien fan, I wasn't that big of an Alien fan well, to watch Alien versus Predator movies because, as I said before, they're cheesy, they're a gimmick, they're like bad slasher movies from the 1980s, and they really had no like prominent characters or stars. So it was just okay. The aliens fight the predators, but like I don't understand why I'm supposed to care, or like why I'm supposed to care about the characters because they're not fleshed out in those AVP and AVP Requiem films. So it's just junk, and I would go see some bad junk. I would go see some. I would rent something. I would stream something. I would go see something that's like just terrible, like funny. Like a riot, like Alien Resurrection, which is just fucking ridiculous as fuck, and that's hilarious. But fuck. I was saying, wow, look, and there's like a midget dude in a wheelchair fighting. If it's like really stupid, like really like so bad that it's good. Like Alien Resurrection, like Sigourney Weaver, she is playing basketball with the pirates, and then the basketball, she doesn't look, and she does a no look shot and stuff, just all kinds of silly shit like that. I'm not saying I watch Alien Resurrection every day, but if it's just so bad that it's good, every once in a while I might check out something like that. That's just totally ridiculous for entertainment purposes. And so I think probably the sin of the Ridley Scott prequel Alien trilogy, or wannabe trilogy, it was cut off because it was just not. Even though Michael Fassbender is brilliant as the android David, and it's kind of cool seeing a prequel Alien world and how the space jockey got there and how the engineers got in Alien, and the backstory of that could have been pretty fascinating. Prometheus kind of as philosophical, as cumbersome as that movie is, it kind of gives you hope that there's going to be a new adventure with David and Naomi Rapace. And you think there's going to be a great movie on the Engineer's Planet or something. So you think you're going to get a fantastic film. What we got was Alien Covenant, and you find out that Naomi Rapace is dead, and David is still alive, but he has killed all the engineers using a bio terror weapon virus, and he has declared himself God. So Ridley Scott goes into the another philosophically cumbersome film, right after Prometheus about the nature of God and man creating God and man creating life and God creating man and the conflict of multiple dualities and life and death and immortality and mortality and all those themes that he's. I suppose the first film is about transpermia and the idea that aliens seeded Earth and Earthlings and created the DNA in a lab or something like that. Some kind of alternative. Um, an alternative take on the origins of man that does not include a religion, like a god or an eternal kind of being, a master, a god, a creator, like a mysterious being that flies through the universe magically and is from the light and creates planets and life and seeds life and then leaves, you know, like a great deadbeat dad. So, yeah. So those are fascinating ideas in science fiction about transpermia. But I found that Alien Prometheus and Alien Covenant are too philosophically cumbersome for their own good, and the characters aren't that great, except for I guess David the android. Michael Fassbender I think is pretty brilliant, but there's too much I think also trying to create the Sigourney Weaver. So they could have made their lead character like Charlize Theron and made her like blonde, or they could have made her like a younger actress that was a blonde or a redhead or. But they keep trying to remake this young Sigourney Weaver at 20 from Alien 1979, and it's obvious that they're trying to do that. And so Naomi Rapace was the first attempt at making a Ripley type character, the heroine of the movie. And then in the second one, I forgot her even what her name was. Some hot ass brunette chick. They tried to make her into Ripley, but she had no characterization. It was just, hey, look, here's another clone of a hot brunette chick that you might want to pork, and it's just like it doesn't really. And then of course they got they put a hillbilly. I guess they were trying to go for like Dallas, like Tom Skerritt. And they put Danny McBride in Alien Covenant. Danny McBride is known for, Eastbound and Down and doing these ridiculous comedies, playing like the guy with the mullet and the goatee, and he's playing that guy. Playing like, usually he plays like these silly characters that are like, just usually absolutely ridiculous. He wears like a mullet and shit and acts redneck. And he typically in all these like gross out comedies and these really ridiculous kind of shows like Eastbound and Down. Eastbound and Down is pretty hilarious when he plays Kenny Powers. Yeah, that's a pretty entertaining show. But yeah, but he's trying to be, I guess, like the new Dallas, and then the new chick in Alien Covenant is trying to be like the new Lieutenant Ripley. And so he puts on a cowboy hat to show that he's country. It's like one of those kind of things. Like, hey, and they called him Tallahassee or some shit. And I was like, oh, hey, look, it's Tulsa, and he's got a cowboy hat, and he's white, and he's got, it's just so it's cheesy. It's he's not a great dramatic actor either. And then so you go on an adventure to a dead planet, and there's the android trying to be God or something, and then he's apparently perfecting the alien xenomorph. And then at the end of Alien Covenant, the hot brunette chick thinks she's defeated. Basically, the android that they came with was the same model, so that David from Prometheus kills this new model and then pretends that he's the new model after a big fight with killing off most of the other characters, Billy Crudup and Anyways, so he just basically he just replaces the android model that they were with on the Covenant, and then they fly off. But David said lets it be known that he had tricked. He keeps the girl alive, but he lets her know that he killed the good, the moral android, and that he was. I guess he's planning to take the. David destroys. He wants to destroy life, and he wants to go on a mission to eradicate civilizations and destroy worlds. And so, I suppose Ridley Scott's using the line from uh, Oppenheimer, "I have become death, the destroyer of worlds." I guess that's what he's going for. Kind of like like a Frankenstein's monster, like that David has become a a sentient android that wants to destroy and eradicate all life, and he wants to become God. So he kills the engineers because he kills God, because he proclaims himself God, and then he wants to destroy all life. And I suppose that's where they were going to go in the third movie, that David would be stopped, and so that finally humans would figure it out, and they would, and other androids would join to fight David and maybe an alien army, or I don't know. I mean, the first two movies were so philosophically cumbersome that in the third movie, I think that would be quite a tonal shift if it went straight into action, and mostly action, with a little bit of philosophy and Shakespearean grandeur thrown in there, but with a little bit of with a bit of heavy Shakespearean drama, just for good measure. Um, yeah. So the Prometheus trilogy, the prequel trilogy, was not complete because of the horrible failure of Alien Covenant. I think the main thing with Alien Covenant is that it didn't have the characters were just clones or Photoshop copies of characters that were way better in other Alien movies, and there was little to no attempt to make original characters. So, at least you could say Alien Romulus, there's a really concerted attempt to make original characters, even if most of them are quite shallow. So, the only one that's given deep characterization is Kaylee Spaney's character, and so yeah, so she's given a lot of the yeah. You already forgot what these characters are called, huh? Yeah, really. So many characters. So many characters in this movie. Alien Romulus. So. Oh, nice. All right. There's Alien. Oh, okay. She plays Rain. Okay. I don't know what it is with Disney when they're lead heroine young female characters, or they always call them Ray or Rain. I don't know what that's about. What is that about? I do not know. Okay, here's the cast list. Kaylee Spaney. Damn, she's pretty, right? Yeah, obviously. So is Isabella Merced. You got Robert Bobrovsky, bro. There's your bromance right there, Bobro. Oh, they probably call him for Bobro for short. Look at his Adam's apple, dude. This shit looks alien right there. Oh, he plays the alien guy. Okay, at the end. Spoilers for Trevor Newland's Xenomorph. Aileen Wu. Spike Fern Bjorn. Oh, the guy's not. I thought he was British. The guy goes, "There's something in the water." Archie Renault. Okay, Tyler Harrison. That's like kind of Frenchish, right there. Daniel Belts. Rook. Okay, Ian Holmbrook, and then. Oh yeah, I saw that. All right, and David Johnson with the John's son. But here's they picked a really hot girl to play. Yeah, she's like 26 years old. Look at this hot chick. Oh, she's got a Golden Globe database. It's tight. Golden Globes. Look at this is like the superstar picture right there. Oh, and then most she looks very youthful, so most of the time she's trying to play little girls. That's that girlish, like she just graduated high school look. But I mean, you could maybe maybe you keep that I just graduated high school look going. Going for a while until you hit 30, and then maybe you can't milk it out anymore. Well, look at Elijah Wood. He milked out that I just graduated high school look for most of his career. So, yeah, if you got that youthful baby face, maybe you could milk it out for a while. Yeah. I ran out of coffee, huh? That's a problem. I'm gonna have to go refill. So David Johnson plays Andy the android, a joke. Andy the android, and also maybe Andy is a Toy Story joke. Isn't there the kid's called Andy? You know, this is a Disney production, so maybe a little meta joke in there, which is fine. I actually just thought of that when I read his character name. I said, is that a meta joke to the Toy Story franchise? Oh, is Buzz Lightyear gay now? Is this Disney? Put a chick in it and make it gay. Yeah, there's not a lot of homoeroticism going on. Maybe just, you know, sometimes in Disney movies they just hint at it, like, right? There was a recent example of a movie where they have, oh, right. This one wasn't by Disney, it was by Sony. It was Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, where they have the ghost girl is with the Spangler daughter, and they're kind of having a relationship, but they don't kiss, you know, they don't strip, but it's kind of implied that there's a homosexual, homoerotic, lesbian relationship going on. There's nothing really like that here. There's not really a lesbian relationship. It's not like put a chick in it, make it gay. It's not too in your face, like doing a preaching lesson, like enjoy the LGBT gayness. It's not like that. It's sort of actually between Archie Renault and the Rain character. Uh, it's kind of implied that they're going to hook up. Maybe even the dangerous heterosexual relationship could happen. At first, when I was watching the movie, I knew it was produced by Disney. When she's consoling the girl who gets accidentally pregnant, uh, I thought, "Uh-oh, where are they going with this?" And then, thankfully, it didn't go into the Buzz Light queer territory. They didn't make out or something, so it didn't go there in this movie. So, in fact, it didn't go full heterosexual either. Kind of, for the most part, kept sexuality out of the movies, at least in the romantic department. So the shit is hitting the fan so much in the movie that there's not much time for any kind of sexual relationship. So Rain is with Andy, and Andy is a Wayland Yutani android, and they're on this planet where they're basically slaves of the corporation, and they can't leave until they put enough work hours. And a lot of these people, these colonists, can't leave until they've done, like, I don't know, 10 years worth of mining or something. But a lot of these young people want to leave the planet and go to some paradise planet early and get off the depressing mining world that where you can't see the sun, and they imagine going to some beautiful world where they can have freedom, and they aren't slaves to the mega corporation. Sort of like a depressing, this is made by Scott Free Productions, so it's kind of a callback to the depressing world of 2029, I believe, with the Tyrell Corporation and Blade Runner. There's nice callbacks to science fiction films of old, and they're nice, delicate touches that Ridley Scott could bring that the Walt Disney Studios couldn't do. Because all the Walt Disney Studios with their leftist kind of executives driving the narrative would just make it more gay, make it more... they demanded diversity in the crew, and they demanded a female protagonist, so they got that, and but they weren't allowed to explore transsexual or homosexual relationships, thankfully, so it didn't ruin the movie. I guess the fake out by Disney is that they wanted to make a movie that was controlled by Disney, but they didn't really want the public to know about it until, it already dropped or something. So this movie by Scott Free Productions and 20th Century Studios and Walt Disney Studios wants to have the old school fans come back after the disappointing bomb of Alien Covenant. That might have been one of the last 20th Century Fox pictures. I don't know when the Disney acquired Walt Disney 20th Century Fox. So, and it turned into 20th Century Studios. I don't know what date that was, but I'm sure Alien Covenant was the final nail in the coffin of probably a struggling 20th Century Fox, which, brought us Star Wars and Alien and all these great, fantastic, legendary franchises and films and characters. And so they went out being eaten by the monster itself, Walt Disney. And so Rain and Andy want to get off this planet. This is the first time you see an android that's kind of retarded. Yeah, so you got the female heroine. For the first time, an android that isn't cold and calculated and logical, but one that's kind of retarded and kind of like a dumb model. This model is sworn to protect Rain, but he gets beat up by a bunch of bullies, and then you quickly realize that he's an android, but he's a weak android. He doesn't seem to have... he's not an android that defends himself. His only priority is to defend Rain, because that's what her father, before he died, programmed him to do, was to defend Rain. at all costs. That was his primary prime directive. So yeah. So you start off in this kind of Blade Runner Tyrell Corporation, but it's Weyland Yutani hellscape. This nightmare of these human slaves working for this corporation, mining, kind of like I guess like Chinese Communist Party workers or something, where they're working for Apple for reduced wages and producing iPhones or producing manufacturing goods, but their lives are poor and their lives are empty and their lives are not very lively at all, and there's little to no connection with nature or beautiful things. So everything is enslaved by this greed that is suffocating society, suffocating this human colony. And it's kind of cool, the planet itself, not that it blocks out the sun, but that it has it's a ringed planet. And so Andy has the key, because he's a Weyland Yutani android, to a bunch of colonists find that know Rain, know that she has the android, and they want to get aboard this space station, this derelict space station. They get a signal at first, they think it's a ship, but it turns out to be a space station called Romulus. There's two halves of the space station, Romulus and Remus. And so they aboard the space station, trying to get fuel for a journey to another world, and that one where they could see the sun and see nature and see beautiful things again. So I guess that's what's not really talked about too much in movies like this, especially the component of Blade Runner is that the future is a dystopia because there's technology everywhere, and there's little connection that humans have with nature anymore. So that's really the tragedy of the tragedy of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, or what Ridley Scott would turn into Blade Runner from 1982, is that the Tyrell Corporation becomes powerful. It's very greedy. It takes over the planet, but it also destroys man and destroys the spirit of man and destroys the spirit of nature in the process as well. So in the process of having total, complete domination, control, and power, you destroy the human soul, and you destroy the human, you destroy nature itself. So that's also something that James Cameron is concerned with in his Avatar films as well, is about the technology versus nature and other such themes as such. Natives versus invaders, that sort of thing. Miners and plunderers and vandals versus pure civilizations and nature. So the defiling of nature, very similar to Michael Crichton and Jurassic Park, man trying to play God, and these themes kind of recur in science fiction films because they're great, drama and great philosophical things to think about. So that's why they keep on coming over and over again up. Ethics and morality and science and greed and profit making. What are the limits? What is moral and just? And the pursuit of profit and the pursuit of power. Well, these themes continue. Rain is a lot like Ray on, she's the girl who's poor. And I don't know why Disney loves this theme of the pretty brunette white girl who's poor, and and she's orphaned by her parents. and then she goes to go get some money, and then she's broke. I don't know why wealthy as hell Disney executives love this idea of, you know, because isn't that quite ironic that they're always making movies about poor girls, and they're like a wealthy, multi-billion-dollar company and everything. I always find that fascinating. They always make they seem to be always making films about female protagonists that are broke, and that seems to be one of their modus operandi for whatever reason that is. But I always find that obviously ironic. But they seem to like this theme of a poor broke girl going to get services or trying to gain her. They love the idea of slavery or something. They love the idea of slave girls and trying to break free from the trappings of their society or their civilization, or in this case, the colony. Trying to break the chains of their poverty, and so they Disney, I suppose in particular, loves this particular story arc. Um, Maybe after the backlash of all the, like South Park, put a chick in it, make it gay. They were like, okay, well, we're losing a lot of money. Let's make this less gay. And the executives and Kathleen Kennedy and everybody, or Bob Iger, they were sitting around like, hey, yeah, we can make a lot of money with this Alien franchise. We can really make a lot of money with this. Hey, let's. There's all this gay shit. Let's just reduce the gay shit just for one movie. We could be as gay as hell in another one, and LGBTQ and trans queer or whatever. We're saving that for a Buzz Lightyear movie where he comes out and he has a rainbow suit on, and he's gonna be in a rainbow thong, and Buzz Lightyear is gonna be really our super project. But for this one, we're gonna dial down the gayness. We're gonna just, people are kind of getting, straight people, heterosexual people are getting kind of annoyed. Family people, religious people, they're getting really annoyed by all this gay shit. Let's just make some. Why don't we? I don't know. Make some profit in our movies. What about that? Remember the days where they used to have companies. They weren't agenda driven by political ideology all the time and hell bent on that. They used to, only two things entertainment companies used to be focused on: entertaining the consumer, and number two, making profit, making a hell of a lot of money. Two things. That's it. Boom. Perfect. It was perfect. It was perfect because it was simple. See? I wouldn't have to add politics to my movies. Now, if I write a movie, am I going to talk about politics in the movie? No. It should stick to structure, like narrative, like classic structure. 3 acts, a 3-act play. Introduction, middle, end. Boom. Just like that's classical narrative structure. Characters, strong characters, well-defined characters. What are their motivations? What's their background? What are they doing? What are their objectives? How do those objectives conflict? How does it complicate the story? Who betrays? Who is the Judas Iscariot in that's going to betray Jesus to the Roman authorities, and he's going to get crucified for his belief in Christianity? Like, who's going to be the betrayer characters? As Dante would be, they would be called. They would be in the lowest form of the lowest ring of hell. We're called the betrayers. So where were these? Who is going to make horrible decisions or stupid decisions and endanger everyone? And that's really. So you make a strong 3-act play in your movie. Fills up 2 hours or thereabouts, and you have strong characters, strong identifiable characteristics of the characters, and you have a beginning, a middle, and an end, just like the Bible. You have a Genesis to Revelation. Yeah. Boom. It should just be more or less that simple. I suppose the problem with modern movies today is that they're trying to make it like Marvel, Disney. They're trying to make everything like an interconnected universe. So you could see an alien Romulus. They want to connect Prometheus with the alien. The alien Romulus is set between apparently Alien and aliens. Now that I always find that interesting. The missing chapter to be an interesting concept, at least narratively speaking. So you have the missing chapter, which is like a prequel. What came before? Well, if there's a light that creates the universe, according to the Judeo-Christian Bible, then well, where does the light come from? Where are these beings come from? Well, what is the before? That's always the intriguing thing. Like what came before? And sometimes, if there's a mysterious part, a gap in between films, like between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, that's been mined by Shadows of the Empire and stuff like that. And it is kind of interesting to make a film series in between Alien and Aliens. I think that's it's always interesting. What do people don't know about the franchise? And but Alien Romulus, they add stuff about Prometheus, and they add stuff about Alien, the Nostromo, and then of course they do the nostalgia bait. Even though Ian Holm is dead, of the Fifth Element, and Alien, and of course Bilbo Baggins in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Of course, Ian Holm, he comes back as an android because you can do that with Lieutenant Commander Data and Brent Spiner, and you can do that with Lance Henriksen. You can do that with David and Michael Fassbender because androids you can just replicate, their image. Because of this fantastic science fiction futuristic technology that's in these franchises and these sci-fi science fiction fantasy films explore. So you could do that, and that's a good way to bring back a nostalgic actor too through the android method, or cloning technology or whatever. So that might get some butts in the seats, right? And that was going to be the big zinger. That was going to be the big reveal in Alien Romulus for Aliens fans. That was supposed to be the, like, whoa, that's the golden nugget. That's the Easter egg of all Easter eggs. Like that was supposed to be pretty, but it kind of leaked out too early that it was Ian Holm was in it, even though he was already dead. But they CGI'd him into this really ridiculous looking really ridiculous Ash looking robot type thing. And this Ash guy called Rook wants to do the bidding of the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. Apparently they have created this new superhuman biovirus thing that's like, I suppose it's supposed to make the person immortal and or heal their injuries magically. And so they're going back to the quest for immortality. Now, would I think that immortality was possible in outer space or even with Earth science? Well, I guess who would want to live forever, I suppose, would be the better saying, like the Queen, the Freddie Mercury song. Who wants to live forever? Like from the Highlander soundtrack. Who wants to live forever? Yeah, that's true. Who would want to live forever? Even if it was Steve Jobs or, even if it was somebody afraid of death, some ultra billionaire, it was Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, whoever. Who would want to live forever? Oh, that's a great song. A Highlander. And, Freddie Mercury, the guy was talented, man, beyond belief. So who wants to live forever? Apparently, a lot of the characters in the Alien franchise want to live forever. Wayland. Um, so Wayland Yutani Corporation is always doing nefarious uh, genetic and other types of experiments that are making ultimate weapons and always doing kind of shady things like I don't know, the Wuhan Virology Institute in Wuhan, China, with the World Health Organization. I guess they're a shadowy, kind of dark organization that experiments with things that they should not be messing with, that cause havoc in the world and chaos for society, civilization. It maybe even endanger human civilization itself. Yeah. Um, So the Ian Holm, the post-mortem, posthumous recreation is creepy. And a lot of that he was going to be, that this bishop, I'm sorry, that this Ash type android would be in the film was leaked, really to almost every Alien fan pretty quickly. And so, it was not, uh, it was just not good. Uh, Andy, I mean, the guy who played him, David Johnson, uh, he's brilliant, switching his different characters from. Uh, he's playing the retarded, the fearful android to the cold and calculated. Um, he basically gets a memory card like your Nintendo Switch, and that gives him the extra data of the different androids. So you could add, like, the Nintendo Switch. You could add the memory card if you want more games on your Nintendo Switch, and you just open it up and you put your memory card in there. Like basically, that's what it is for this Android Andy. It's if you want the information to access another Wayland Yutani station or starship, then you just get the android's little memory card thing, and then you put it into Andy's thing. But then the extra data takes over and alters his personality. And in this case, it was an android that was on a mission to get this special um, this bio weapon or something, or whatever it was. It was like I think it was like an immortality drug thing, and it was supposed to get back to the Wayland uh, Yutani Corporation. Maybe it wasn't a weapon. I think it was the immortality drug that Wayland was looking for or wanting to develop. So, anyways, I guess that's the MacGuffin, I suppose, or yeah, or the MacGuffin is just survival and getting the fuel to get off this hellish world and everything. So, getting a ticket to a beautiful planet like in Blade Runner, Deckard, and um, going with this woman and going to paradise. In the one of the director's cut, Ridley Scott, they have one that's like the depressing ending where he doesn't leave the city, and then the super happy ending, he gets the girl Rachel, and then they go off to the wilderness. So that's like the super happy ending. They go off to the forest. They go off to they go back to nature. Man rediscovers nature in essence. But in other words, yeah. So Alien Romulus tries to toe the line between. They got a diverse character. They have like a head shaven Asian girl. They have, yeah, a lot of diverse characters. I guess they have like what, like a young hot Italian girl. They always have to have a girlfriend. They have the girl who's straight, and she's not too mischievous. She's not too promiscuous. And then they have the girl that's like, oh, I slept with some douchebag and I'm pregnant. And she's like, don't tell anyone, okay? Don't tell anyone I slept with some random dude. Oh, don't worry, I won't tell him that you're pregnant. Uh, I guess in the famous lead up to Alien Romulus, the internet was buzzed at the English guy who said, "There's something in the water. There's something in the water." And yeah, that was like a big meme for a while. There's something in the water. The water. And I don't know what a Walter is. I know what water is, but the water. Yeah, they have an English dude in it, huh? Yeah, they got an English dude. They have a whitish dude. There's an Asian chick. There's a like kind of a hot Italian or Latina chick or whatever. And then of course the token Sigourney Weaver wannabe, the hot cute brunette girl. So that's Alien Romulus. Is it good? Well, it only made up to 80% by audience and 80% by Rotten Tomatoes, owned by Disney. Yeah, that's what you have to do if you want to be a real communist, a real Marxist. You got to own everything. You got to own all the methods of production, so you have no resistance. That's the point. Is that you have no criticism, you have no resistance, and that's the like full control and power. Money and power is that you want to have little to no resistance from anyone or in any of the public. No criticism, no judgment, no free liberty. That's really the point of the Walt Disney Corporation now. Maybe the point of the Walt Disney Corporation back in the day was, the truth, justice, the American way, the American people all the way, keeping culture and fairy tales and keeping, staying true to the just staying true to America. But Disney, the Walt Disney Corporation, has not been that particular corporation that has represented American ideals and American people for a very, very long time. And so they've suffered the consequences, not always, because they could always switch and wear a different mask because they own so many things. But I think it's finally started to erode their bottom line, and it started to catch up with them. And the financial burden of going woke and going broke is finally, besides public backlash and the slow American rebellion against Walt Disney Corporation. They become too powerful, too arrogant, and too out of line with American values and American people, what they want to see in their entertainment. So they've gone so far that their only recourse is to scale back their LGBTQ and globalist agenda, basically. Alien Romulus. Is it a Bomulus? It's pretty good by Freddie Alvarez. It's okay. It's a nice movie to put on. They do the thing where it's like there's an engineer alien at the end that's a part xenomorph, part engineer, and it's pretty creepy at the end. Yeah, but I think in terms of the Alien franchise, we kind of seen it all before. We've seen the alien cave, and I just farted really loud. All right, but we kind of just seen it all before. So I don't know if Alien Romulus was like my big ass fart that I just had, but it definitely was not seemingly that original. I guess the only original thing I could say about it was that they do a lot of fun stuff with the gravity and the battles. And so, I liked that when they showed the gravity versus the acid. I thought that was pretty cool. But everything else just seemed pretty derivative, pretty like we've seen it all before. And a lot of it is clone, copy, and paste, like the same shit over and over again. And it's kind of boring. the same thing over and over again, especially for older fans from my generation. It's just there's nothing new about it, essentially. Hey, Tula. Okay. Wait. Be free, Tula. Yeah. Okay. You're free. Just don't do anything naughty. All right. Yeah. Alien Romulus. A Bomulus? No. It's just the same shit over and over again. So even with Avatar, it's like the same shit. You know, they go to like. You thought that space exploration would be a little bit more exciting, that it wouldn't be boring, and especially on a planet that is teeming with life. It's supposed to be kind of exciting. So, yeah. I know the problem with the science fiction films these days is that they've got like a diversity quota. They've got all these other political they got all these philosophical and political ideologies weighing it down, and it just the idea of a science fiction fantasy movie where characters are in a future where human beings are exploring different planets, it should be exciting. Okay, I mean, normally speaking, I mean, if some humans went to another world teeming with life and we could breathe there or we could physically explore it, it should be exciting like a Western. Like it should be a great adventure. Like, but I hope to see a science fiction fantasy movie in the future that's actually good to great. I'd like to see a really brilliant one day. Even if I have to write it myself, I'd like to see a better, I don't want to see 10 avatars. I don't want to see, I don't want to watch the same Alien movie forever. I don't want to watch the same Star Wars movie forever. If I'll check it out out of just curiosity, but it's just become so, there's so many remakes and retreads and nostalgia bait. It's like I would like one day for there to be an original science fiction fantasy movie that stands on its own 2 feet and becomes a titan of its own. And so, yeah. And for me, that's not Avatar. For me, that's not really Star Wars anymore. And that's not Alien, because I've seen those movies before. And even Avatar 2, The Way of Water, was still just a clone of Avatar 1. They even bring back the same bad guy. It's like, why? I mean, do something different. Create something new. How about that? It's like what fans have been craving for years and years, something fresh. Something new, something exciting. Not the same shit that recalls our childhoods or recalls, movies that have come before all the time, just reminiscing about a glorious past that's long gone. Why don't we build a great present or a great future instead of always looking back to the glorious times? Why don't we take hold, seize the day of the now, and then create a better future? How about that? That would be a novel idea. So, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll see a science fiction movie that I enjoy again. But for now, it's just mediocre to fail at best. And I haven't seen a science fiction movie that really, science fiction or fantasy movie that has really done a great job in a long, long time. Well, yeah, I might watch Alien Romulus again. I may not. I just rented it for $4. But might watch it again just to see if there's anything that I missed about the plot, or my dogs were kind of barking and crying when I was trying to watch it last night. So my 2 girls, Shih Tzus, Bella and Tula, and so Uh-oh. Did Tula go in there and poopa? Did she go in the office and drop one? Uh-oh. What's up? Oh, dude. Oh, shit. She dropped a whiz in the middle bathroom. Yeah, I saw that. You dropped a little present in there. I thought it was going to be a turd. My other dog is like, she pissed in here. She pissed in here. Did you the original dog, Bella is like, the new dog pissed in here. Look at this travesty. She urinated on my rug. Urinated. Oh well, the dog's got to mark their territory. Okay, I love you, Tula. Don't worry. I love you, Tula. We'll just clean the rugs. We're not gonna start spankings for that. Alien Romulus. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. All right. She moves in mysterious ways. You too. Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. I might watch it again. Look at the cute brunette girl who's 26 and young, fertile, baby making age. The fertile female baby making age is like what, 18 to 25 or something, or 18 to 30 or something. People are waiting longer to have kids because don't have established careers or much money or whatever. Yeah. People worried about the money. People worried about the money. Show me the money. I love black people. Yeah, that's a good one. Jerry Maguire. You had me at hello. That one has so many quotables in it, huh? You had me at hello was great by Renee Zellweger. But I like Tom Cruise. Show me the money. Oh man. I love black people. Congratulations, Jerry. You're still my agent. Yeah, this Cuba Gooding Jr. Man, he got bulked up to play that football star. Man, he must have been in the gym all the time for that. I mean, I'm sure he's pretty fit normally because he was the actor, but he really put on some bulk to play the football dude. But anyways, he got shredded. He got ripped, right? So do I think do I think that maybe androids are snubbed in the Oscars for their performances of androids? Do I think traditionally that the Oscars they snub Oscar nominations for actors that play androids in science fiction films? I think there's kind of a natural bias, yeah, against. I think there's a natural bias against vampires by the Oscars, androids, wizards, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, I think androids, vampires, wizards, they get snubbed by the Oscars quite frequently. And look at brunette Barbie over here. Brunette. Brunette Barbie. Just kidding. She's got plenty of pink. More. Well, God bless. That was Alien Romulus. It was